Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Bitcoin School podcast, where we are shining a light on Bitcoin educators across the world, the people in the trenches, orange pilling the plebs, orange pilling the plebs. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, Dimas from the project in Indonesia, Bitcoin Indonesia. I thought the episode today would be really interesting for everyone because despite the fact that Indonesia is the fourth most populous country in the world, very few people know anything about Indonesia, let alone what's going on in the Bitcoin world in Indonesia. So, who better to talk to than one of the co-founders of Bitcoin Indonesia? Welcome to the show, Dimas. It's nice to have you today.
Hi, Trev. Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor. So I know this is a sudden invitation, but I'm really happy to meet you, and then we can talk about many things.
Yeah, so for those listening, our plan originally was for me to speak to the other co-founder. There's three of you, correct? Three co-founders of Bitcoin
Yes, there
Indonesia.
is me. There's Diana, and also Diana's boyfriend Marius.
Okay,
But everyone has their own specialty. So I focus more on the Indonesian side, and then they focus on more on Bali side.
yeah, gotcha. Okay. Um, so speaking of, with a team, now you guys have a team of over 20 people, correct? The team is growing more and more. Um, which brings me to you guys are involved in what seems to be every aspect of the orange pilling process of a country that's the fourth most populous in the world. So before we jump into everything you're involved to and how you guys don't sleep, it appears. If you could give us your orange pill story. You mentioned to me off camera that you were living abroad for 15 years before the launch of the project. So how did you fall down the rabbit hole? And even more so, how did you decide that Bitcoin education was the path forward for you?
Wow, wow. Okay, okay. I hope you have time because I will talk a lot.
Let's do it. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So I'm fortunate enough to be able to do my master studies in Germany, which I spent like 11 years there, and then I met my family there. I had children also there, and also spent like 4 years in Switzerland. Yeah, where I live in Zurich.
Ah, wow.
But then, yeah, but then in 2016, I think, at the end of 2016, I was like, I felt stuck because even, I mean, as a foreigner in Europe, even though you are well skilled and then highly skilled and then you speak the language, at some point, uh, you will notice that if you're not German, then you'll just stay there. So
Hmm.
that and then I feel like, okay, I will have to find something else, something like I can grow my you can say like my portfolio, something like this, right? And then I
Hmm.
start researching about stocks, about gold, about many things, which through all through my life I never learned about this stuff. So and we, like everyone, I think we just has to follow this path, like study, and then good grades, and then get great job, and then you have to figure out yourself what is money, and then what is investing and
Yeah.
everything like this. And then I found Bitcoin through one guy. Actually, later I found him as a scammer. He sold this newsletter, and then I tried, just like I put like 500 euros like that at the time, and then by luck, I think because this is halving, right, 2016, that 500 euros become like 10,000 euros in few months or something like this. But like everyone, I didn't put I didn't take the profit, so I didn't took the profit. I let it
Oh
ride, and then there's a bear
no.
market.
No, that's not how you do Ponzi schemes. You need to take profit before it collapses. Wow,
but
crazy.
yeah, when it collapsed, then it made me curious. Why is it like this? Something like this, and then it made me like, into deep to rabbit hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point, at the time I was not fully into Bitcoin yet. I was like to my diversified portfolio. I have like Bitcoin and other crypto assets. Like have to diversify and everything like this. And I had this one I think two life changing events. The first one is when I realized I have to self custody my assets, right? I mean, because this is the first time you can self custody your own assets, your own money. So I bought Ledger already. I bought Ledger, and then I ordered it from France, from the factory directly, and it arrived in my home. But I was too lazy to learn it, to learn how to use it, and just sit there on beside my laptop. And then
Ooh.
the next morning, I got fish attack.
Oh, wow. So you went through the flames really early. Strike two.
Yeah,
Strike two. En route to being a Bitcoin maxi. You have to touch the stove. Pain is the best teacher.
exactly.
Oh,
So like I got fish attack. Like I think at the time I lost like 3,000 euros. I think that's all my savings. I think at the time,
ah,
and it was
okay.
my wife's money.
Oh, even worse. Okay. And she's still with you. Good woman. Good woman.
Yeah, I'm so lucky. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I think that the second event that turns me to become a Bitcoin only, so I can say,
Yeah.
is during the pandemic in 2020. So I think the end of 2019, Germany already has these signs that there will be a lockdown, and in 2020, I was like locked down, and nobody can go to work. It's crazy, right? Crazy times.
Yeah.
And the government is just basically giving out money to me, right? And I was at the time in 2019, I was still having this diversified portfolio, but then in 2020 I said, okay, let's why do I always have a diversified portfolio? I'm not that rich either way, right? And yeah, I only invest like a couple hundred or even like maximum 1,000 euros a month, something like this, but I divide it into 10 portfolios, something like this. Let's try this. Let's try just go to all in Bitcoin. So and then I
Like
just like,
Sailor says, you're just picking the losers instead of the winner.
yeah, exactly. So I never been like so that moment I was like, okay, let's just try to Bitcoin. So just all in Bitcoin, and then with extra stimulus checks from the government, German government, just go all in Bitcoin.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, and then and that helped me really because in 2021, we after like 15 years living in Europe, we left Europe because we believe that Europe economy will go down, and also our children is growing up, right? And then at the time, I think the mood now has already changed, but at the time, since I'm Muslim, in Europe, the openness to everything, to the rainbow movement and everything, I don't feel that this is suitable for my children future. So at least if we economy and also the economy in Europe, in Germany is going down, so it's maybe better go back home, close to the family, and then at least I know my family, I know the language, and I can do something there. So I
Yeah.
think so far it has been the right decision. So
Great. Yeah. I would have to agree. The postmodern relativism of, we can call it the woke movement, everything that entails. We're all equal, whatever. Things are not looking good for Europe, unfortunately, on many fronts. I mean, in Germany, they're shutting down nuclear reactors, and it's just our, Germany's cooked, I think. Here in Argentina, there's a lot of Germans that have share the same feelings, and they're coming to Latin America um, with the feeling that the more, let's call it conservative um, viewpoints are the way forward. They're more bullish on Latin America than Western Europe. So I think you guys are ahead of the curve. I would have to agree with that one. So 2021 happens. You're arriving at becoming a maxi, or would you identify as a maxi at that point? You get to Indonesia. Was the plan from the get-go to launch something Bitcoin oriented, or how did you meet your co-founders and how did Bitcoin in Indonesia launch?
Yeah, this is quite fun because when I arrived in Indonesia, basically I never worked in Indonesia all my life, so I was quite scared to coming back home, right? But since I have friends, I get a job at education ministry, and then we kind of plan things together. It helped me, shaped me basically to get to build my network, and also as an educator also to how to plan, how to build, and everything. And I got a taste also to working in the crypto exchange. I think one of the upcoming crypto exchange.
Wow.
And then, but then I get laid off because of crypto winter, right? In 2022, I think, end of 2022. So, and I learned the biggest lesson, like the cash flow, about how Bitcoin, crypto, and everything. It's nice during the bull market, but during the bear market, it's not nice. And as a company, you have to always maintain liquidity and then cash flow, and then some cash to survive, something like this, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then after I get laid off, I still want to be involved in Bitcoin, because in crypto exchange, I'm the only one. I think the maxi one. Everyone just think
Oh,
crypto. So I'll tell you what the crypto community, the ecosystem in Indonesia, right? The ecosystem in Indonesia is built by the crypto exchanges. We have more than 15 or 20 crypto exchanges.
wow.
And the business model of crypto exchanges are basically just trading. So when people buy, they get commission. People sell, they get commission. So
The
from there, they,
casinos.
yes, exactly. So from there, they build communities based on trading. So, and it's not aligned
Wow.
with my philosophy. And then that's why when I get laid off, I want to participate in Bitcoin only community. And that time I met with one lady, Dea, I think, from she works now with Fedi. Dea
Mm.
is organizing the Bitcoin Indonesia Bitcoin Conference, IDBC. And there I met the Diana and Marius, because Diana and Marius just arrived from Germany. And then when we kind of clicked together, because I was living the 11 years in Germany. I speak the language, I know the work culture, and we
I w-
basically just hang out.
I would love to have seen their faces when you started speaking German to them. Just like
Yeah, but
that
but
would have been
but
a
now because of work, we get used to speaking English. So German, just sometimes if you like three of us and in front of a lot of people, so we just like, okay, I just speak German with them. So yeah,
yeah.
but
There's
yeah, it's amazing.
there's Germans who speak English better than a lot of Americans these days, I think.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
true.
So you guys met in Indonesia by chance at the conference, or
Exactly. So at the conference
wow.
in Bali, in Denpasar that time, and we start off talking. I think that time Marius brought up that, hey, whenever I want to find out about Bitcoin in Indonesia, uh, I only found like a small article. It's not, I think it's not deep. And suddenly,
Yeah.
and after that, people just say like, okay, Bitcoin is old, is just a pet rock, something like this, and then doesn't do anything. Let's look at of my new latest project, this DeFi
Yeah.
thing.
Wow. Oh my gosh, yeah. The world computer on the blockchain.
Yeah.
Um, wow. So speaking of which, I really love the resource you guys created, 21 reasons why crypto is not Bitcoin. It's such a necessary narrative to drill into people's heads because when you say you're a Bitcoin educator, when you're involved in Bitcoin, they just kind of look at you like, oh, scammer. You know, like, no, 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 we're not one of those guys. But I mean, for the most part in Indonesia, people are just trading, trying to beat the market. They're living in the casino, is what you're saying.
Exactly, and plus we have like a wave. I think this is the second cycle I experienced in Indonesia, right? The first cycle was a lot of like artists, like Indonesian artists who play in the movie star, anything like this. they created like artist tokens, token artists, something like this, right? And
Yeah.
they use their fame to sell the tokens. Even what is worse is like the a daughter of a famous cleric, I think, Muslim cleric, created a token, and then she said that if you buy my token, you'll be automatically go to heaven.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow.
This is
What's
the
the
most
price of
halal
that?
thing, the most halal thing token you can buy.
Yeah, no, no. The opposite. Straight to hell. I don't want to talk like that, but oh my gosh, the holy cow, that is amazing.
Yeah,
Um, and so how much does a ticket straight to heaven cost?
I don't know, just couple thousand rupiah. I'll be like what 20, 10 cents, something like this. I don't know. But
No.
after the cycle over, like 2023, it really go to zero. But what made me angry is like a lot of people. I mean, Indonesia is the most populous Muslim country in the world, right? Populous people in the world. So a lot of people follow their religious clerics, their religious leaders. So and the people who follow basically very religious, and but they are in the lower side of economy. So they like who's the street vendors, the hawkers, the many
Yeah.
things, right? They just use all the capital to just buy this because they want to go to heaven, or they want to get
Oh my
quick profit,
gosh.
something like this. And
Yeah.
this
So,
is like ruin.
oh my gosh. So they were preying on the financially illiterate working class who um I was reading it's something like 75% of Indonesia is unbanked. Um, so we're talking people that are saving in rupiahs, best case scenario, perhaps dollars, and they're making. What would you say the average salary of the street hawkers is in, let's call it in dollar terms?
I think monthly maximum they can only get like 200 maximum, two
Wow,
hundred
so we're
dollars.
talking
Yeah,
like $6, $7 a day
yeah.
working full days. And
Yeah,
then along comes the daughter of a religious clerk saying, "Buy my NFT, bro. You're going to heaven." Oh my gosh.
exactly.
Incredible.
Yeah,
Incredible.
that was the first cycle, and the second cycle was started. I mean during 2023, right, at the beginning of the bull market. We have some young influencers like 23, 24. They do this flexing. I have a Lambo, I have a McLaren, I have this
Oh yeah.
car, and then they sell classes like crazy amount, so expensive. I mean, like
Oh,
one class maybe like $3,000, something like this. And they said, yeah, something minimum $3,000, sometimes like $5,000, something like this for one class.
no.
And then just like flexing and everything. And then the way he talks is like he mimicked this Andrew Tate, how he Andrew Tate talks, right? Really like
Yeah.
bashing, like bad mouth and everything. So it's crazy, and
The
people, yeah, then and his market is like the university student 18 to 29, something like this, right? And people
yep.
just line up like thousands.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I would say from what I can tell, a lot of the crypto bro, the damage being done in the crypto world is with young guys that are loaded with testosterone. They think they can beat the market. They're going to become millionaires. They're going to get their Lambo, gym, trading, rinse, repeat, bro. And they look up to these morons. uh, when you're young, loaded with testosterone, and you have very little life experience, you are low-hanging fruit for these charlatans, for these scammers. You're the exit liquidity, bro. Uh, Interesting to see that this is something that goes on across the world. Here in Argentina, I mean, and let's talk about how tragic this is. These are guys who should be in some of the most productive times of their life. They've got the energy, they don't have a family yet. They can be laying a really solid foundation for a productive life. but they're living it glued to the screen, trying to read candles, they're getting rugged left and right, um, wasting their capital on these bullshit courses. And those guys are not participating in building the society that we want to see. I mean, this is happening across the world on a grand scale between video games, trading, et cetera, et cetera. These guys are living inside, devoid of vitamin D. They're not getting outside and living life. It's crazy. Wow. So you come back to your home country for the first time in 15 years, and you're seeing just these scams left and right, and you're looking at Diana and her boyfriend. What's his name again? I apologize.
Marius, yeah.
Marius. And you
Yeah,
guys are like, let's do this. Indonesia needs Bitcoin education now.
exactly. Because actually, Bitcoin was Bali was once a Bitcoin island in 2014.
Wow.
Well, so a lot of merchant adoption at that
2014.
time. Yeah, 2014 was the first time, and then well, that time I think there's no Lightning network at that time, right? But we
Nope,
have
that would
like
have been all on chain. Yep.
yeah, so people have to wait like 15 minutes or even half an hour to transaction to be confirmed, right? But
Oh
we
my gosh. If they're paying like the most fees, most network fees, yeah. Luckily,
yeah.
20, 30 minutes.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, and but there are like hundreds of merchants there in Bali, and people adoption is growing. We have even like one time Bitcoin ATM also available in Bali. But then government
Wow.
didn't like it, so they enacted a law if this one law that only rupiah is the legal currency, even though
Hmm.
and you're not even allowed to use US dollar, euro, everything for to do transaction. So basically
Interesting.
locking the people inside, and then they shut down the project. So that's why when we came along, we met in 2023. We said, okay, let's make Bali as the epicenter of Bitcoin adoption first, because we want to bring Bitcoin Island back to Bali, but also we want to reach out to all other Indonesians. So that's why we started the project, and then we start translating. If you see our website, this in two languages, right? The English one and also the Bahasa one. So in the beginning, I was the one who literally translating everything from like hundreds of articles and then the website and
Amazing.
everything. And then yeah, because this is our passion project, so we don't sleep.
Right,
So
right. Oh my gosh. And you have a
yeah.
wife and kids. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, at that time, because like I mean, like, there's lot of uncertainties, right? I got laid off. I have not found any jobs, and then I still have my savings. So I think okay, let's do this. Let's pursue this. Let's see what happens. Something. And then when we came to the market, we realized that having a community, having a project that is Bitcoin only, it's super tough. I mean, like, yeah, unless you're selling class, unless you do some trading, you will not survive. So we had
Yeah,
many bitter experience trying to reach out to the exchanges, try to find a partnership with many companies and everything. No, nobody understood us. So that's why when we decided, okay, let's try to become a non-profit. And then when we become non-profit, then I think things are uh, working until now. Yeah, until now it's working.
hmm,
And yeah, and then when we started the project, I think the bigger the our one of our first supporter is Bitcoin Beach. So he sent us what is his name?
shout
I
out to
forgot.
Mike Peterson.
Mike
Mike
Peterson. Yes,
Peterson, yeah, legend.
I met him in Goa last time, like almost like a month ago, beginning
Ah,
of
amazing.
November. Yeah, and then I was like, oh, thank you very much for supporting us. And then it's crazy because of him. Then things are starting to roll out nicely. So
Ah,
from that one from the in the beginning, the Bitcoin house was not there, but we got an offer to build our own Bitcoin house. We launched it in Geyser, and then but the first thing that we do is like the website, of course, and the second the meetups. So we started with one meetup in Bali, and then in Jakarta, in Bandung, and it turns out that we have a lot of Bitcoiners. I mean, maybe you understand this well. As a Bitcoiner, you often being felt like you are alone, you're lonely, you misunderstood, you're crazy, you are an outsider, something like this.
Yeah,
So yeah,
100%.
so for us, it's like Bitcoin is just like the hub. So every Bitcoiner can come, and this is a safe space. Let's come and then let's build it together. So this is what we do actually. So still until now we're growing until like we have like 38 meetups, I think, growing. So
38, 38, amazing. Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
we have more meetups than the amount of month.
That's incredible. Holy cow. 38 meetups. You guys have your own network. That's incredible. I don't know. I'm not sure. That might be a global record, you
I
know.
don't know. So like I mean like we try to stay humble, right? But I think we are the
Right.
biggest.
Well, okay, allow me to pump your bags here. That's absolutely incredible. I don't think any other country has a network of even half that number. Maybe the United States,
I
perhaps.
don't, I don't know, maybe in
Um,
Germany because we kind of mimic this meetup with the 21 meetups in Germany.
okay, uh-huh.
Yeah, but I don't know the impact. I mean, what we found out is like there are a lot of Bitcoin maxis living in Indonesia, different parts of Indonesia. So we just like they are willing to become our supporters and volunteers, and then literally we don't pay them like monthly or something like
Right,
this. They
right.
just passion like all Bitcoiners passion, and then we just support them with materials, with anything they need. So like social
Oh,
media
great,
and everything. Yeah.
great. So there's a little bit of coordination going on there. So they can have like conversation topics, content to put out to their local community. Amazing. Well done.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Um, I want to go back just a little bit. So what did your experience in the government teach you about orange pilling through the official education system, let's say? Because you guys are also in contact, let's say, with the government in Indonesia. Um, there's a lot to unpack there. I apologize.
Okay,
uh,
I'll try.
yeah.
Okay, so our first contact with government was like I was like invited to do an to participate in an event. So in the one university in Yogyakarta, it's
Okay.
in the central Java. There's one university having a new building, and then the president was there, like the previous president, not the current president. And then I have this. I opened a small booth like this, like a small booth, and then I have some Bitcoin brochures and everything. So from there, I met the president. So I gave the president the tip card, and then we talk about Bitcoin. And later
Wow.
he, yeah, and he kind of supportive. And then when he was giving the speech, and then he said like mentioned about Bitcoin education in the university was great, and everything was like internet was blowing up. So yeah, that was the
Wow.
first time. Mhm. And then last August, I got another chance to be invited to the vice president office. Basically, the previous president has a son, and the son is become the vice president of the current administration.
Okay. Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
So the original contact with his dad led to going to the office once again. Oh wow.
exactly.
So
So
did you have to put a tie on or
yeah, I wear
uh
this Indonesian national batik. If you know the video, some motifs thing. Yeah,
yeah. Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
great look. Yeah. Not a fashion guy, but it looks amazing.
Yes. So there, I mean, like, they just want to understand what is Bitcoin, because like the Bitcoin from the crypto exchanges point of view is just like an asset. They can grow, they can get some profit, and then yeah, that's it, right? So I talk from our mission. The Bitcoin Nation mission is basically as a tool for freedom and also sovereignty. And then I'll talk about how Indonesia, like in 2024, we had a surplus in electricity, more than 11 gigawatts
Mm.
of
Oh
electricity
wow.
surplus of wasted and stranded electricity. and then we are like, okay, you can use this. I mean, like, basically, if you just use my contact, I can call some people, and then they'll just come and then just drop their container and just start mining.
Oh my gosh. Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially now with Starlink, just boop,
exactly.
drop the container down and turning wasted energy into magic internet money.
Yeah, but then I think because it was become too viral, I think, and the
Mm.
politically it is not safe for him.
Ah, okay. Okay. Um,
So he distanced himself now.
okay. A little bit too bleeding edge, let's say, not conservative enough. Correct. Okay. Because at the end of
Yeah,
the day, he needs to win elections.
exactly. So maybe maybe he has hopes in 10 years that he will become the next president. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
at least we are there. We were there. I think we are the only crypto, you can say, crypto people
Hmm.
who were invited to present to the
Wow.
vice president office, something like that.
Amongst the what you said 15 to 20 exchanges that exist, you were the only
Yeah.
entity to gain access. Wow, well done. Um, which is kind of a little bit of a segue into the fact that one of the angles that you guys have used in Indonesia is promoting the fact that Bitcoin is halal, um, which in the Muslim world it means it's approved by the Quran, um, which I imagine is a great way to gain traction um, in the government and also with the more conservative crowd to really mark the difference between the degenerate crypto speculation and pointing them to the why um, Bitcoin is approved. You want to talk a little bit more about that angle? For those who don't know, Indonesia is the largest Muslim country in the world. So this is a topic that doesn't get a lot of traction in the Western world, in the English speaking world. So let's talk about why Bitcoin is halal.
Okay. So halal in Arab is an Arabic word for permissible. So basically, you have to have some qualities of the of things that to be redeemed as halal. So for the money itself, I think the most important thing is that it has to be it doesn't contain any interest or any like you because interest we call it riba. So it's to if you loan someone money and then you have when you return it and then you have to add some profit, something like this. And because and the concept of this halal money thing is only kind of recent in Indonesia because we only have
Mm,
like the Islamic banking started in I think like 20 years ago, something like this. Since about our country has existed more than 80 years, I think, Indonesia,
wow.
and it's quite new. So, but the thing that they do is basically they repackage the traditional finance with the Islamic name, something like this. Instead of they say like interest, they say like this is profit sharing, but they make the price increase, the margin increases, and then it's like something like this.
Oh, wow.
So
Sneaky,
to
sneaky.
yeah,
Those bankers.
to give you like an example, to give you an example. So sorry for the loud noise up downstairs.
No worries. No worries.
Wait. To give you an example, like in the traditional finance, if you buy a house, you basically go to a mortgage, and then you get like you have to pay monthly mortgage, and the end you pay more, something like this. But in Islamic finance, basically, if you want to buy a house, you basically ask the bank to buy it for you, and the bank will sell it back to you at a higher price, something like this. You have to like make
Oh,
apa? You can say like installment, like an
yeah.
installment certain periods. Yeah, maybe the same, but it's quite different because there's a problem if the bank bought the house for you, and who owns the certificate? It basically still the bank. If you stop paying, then the bank just take away the house from you, right? Same but different things, something like this.
Hmm.
In yeah, So in terms of then when we talk about Bitcoin, it's very difficult because first in Indonesia we have this board of Islamic clerics that give this fatwa, also this kind of Islamic rulings, they say, and they already have these rulings that Bitcoin and crypto is haram because they claim it contains goror, something like speculation. It doesn't have any physical.
Oh,
It's not
because
physical. It's digital, and it's like full of gambling, full of criminal, all the fun.
wow. So they need to learn about proof of work. They need to know that uh, it's physically created through the spending of energy. And then they also need to learn that it's only volatile measured in dollars, that it has a fixed emission.
Yeah, but when I heard about that rulings, which actually I start to investigate, right? Start
Yeah.
to find out some organization that they also promoting Bitcoin is halal, but they are not Bitcoin, they also like crypto is halal. So I get to know some of the people inside the institution, and
Oh,
I found that
interesting.
there are two generations. Basically, the old generations, the already almost retired, but they are hold the senior position, and also the young generations. And I think almost all the young generations within the institutions have Bitcoin.
Oh, they're sinning according to the previous decisions. Okay, well, so that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah,
So
and the
they're
only
more
way
open to,
institution. Yes, sorry.
no, no.
You can go on.
Oh, just that obviously they're more open to learning more about how exactly it is that Bitcoin is halal, so they can defend
E-
their decisions.
Exactly. So I think the only way, the only thing that they say Bitcoin is haram because the government said so.
Oh, interesting.
Because of the law I mentioned you earlier that only rupiah is allowed as a currency, and then we have this also in Islam. There's one verse in Quran, you have to follow your leader, something like this. But
Okay, yep.
on the other verse, you have to say that when your leaders do wrong, you have to correct it. It's not like follow your leaders blindly, something like this. But they only follow one. Yeah, like I think like any other religion, people can just use or weaponize one verse to fulfill what they want to do, right? They don't see it as a
Yeah,
holistically and then with context and everything, right? Yeah.
yeah. So for those listening who are unfamiliar with the term riba, the Arabic term riba, in English, we're talking about usury, which is making money off of the interest of loans. And it gets even worse when we're talking about dollars. I used to be a mortgage broker, so I used to approve loans that charge tens of thousands of dollars off of interest, printing money, where you are earning money um, from the interest of the debt of another. This also is spoken about in the Bible in the Western world as well. So it doesn't matter, Quran, Bible, this has been known for generations that it is fundamentally wrong to uh, actively make your neighbor poorer through charging them interest. But anyways, this term is called usury, and Bitcoin makes usury impossible because you cannot create more Bitcoin out of nowhere. Um, and it's very interesting to consider what the markets will look like under a Bitcoin standard when we talk about deflationary money, where charging interest on loans will become extremely difficult when measured um, in Bitcoin. So, anyways, this angle, teaching Bitcoin as halal, can open doors with the conservative culture in Indonesia, correct? Um, it's a very interesting chance to draw the contrast between the rupiah and Bitcoin. And if you want to follow what the Quran says, um, you need to use Bitcoin.
Exactly. You couldn't explain it better than me, something. But yeah, but the way that I do that we do here to explain Bitcoin is halal is just to go to shine a light on rupiah itself. I think around 90% of Indonesian population didn't know about the rupiah history. For
Oh,
example, I just found that it's like 2 years ago the history, right? Because someone did the work. So like for example, in 1946, 2 rupiah is equal to 1 gram of gold.
oh, okay. Wow. That's incredible.
And now,
Um,
if you have a motorbike and you go to a restaurant something like this, and then you have to pay for we call it the parking fee. So there will be someone who standing there and then guarding your vehicles. You have to give you the parking fee to him. So the cost for motorcycles like 2,000 rupiah. So it means like 2,000 rupiah in the 1946 can buy you one kilo of gold, something like this.
oh my gosh. So we gotta do the math on that one. But the inflation of the rupiah over the course of 80 years is astronomical. Two
Exactly.
rupiah, 1 ounce or 1 gram of gold.
1 gram of gold. So to give you another
Wow.
context, what we are always being screwed is like in 1949. I mean, we declare our independence in 1945, and then
From the
in
Dutch,
19
correct?
in by the Dutch, yes. And then 1949 we have this big round table negotiation between the Dutch and Indonesia, and then Dutch recognize our independence, but there is caveat that many people don't really realize. Then they don't learn it in the books. I also didn't know this before I researched independently, right? So in the caveat is like the Dutch used to have this company called VOC, the East India Company,
Hmm.
but that being when it went bankrupt, it was nationalized by the Netherlands. So the caveat was Indonesia had to pay the debt of that company plus all the military aggression that the Netherlands did to us twice.
Oh man, I would have loved to be a fly on the wall in those. I would have been like, or you guys can just go kick rocks and we're not going to pay you anything. Bye bye.
Yeah. And to give
Wow.
you a
Okay,
context,
so
how much is the debt? It's like at 1949 we owe to the Netherlands 1,007 ton of gold,
oh my gosh.
and in 2024 our Indonesian current gold reserve is only like 74 ton of gold. So we owe more than 100 times since
Wow.
1949. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. As if the Netherlands hadn't extracted enough resources and I love you, Dutch people, but shame on you. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Or the grandparents,
We get very, but
the
it's quite funny. I mean, we were ruled by the Dutch for 350 years, but I think
wow.
for the history revealed that what the Dutch did, I think a lot of things are good things, right? I mean, they built we in Bandung, for example, where I live in West Java, they have this many of colonial buildings. They have been stood more than 200 years, something like this.
Yep.
Uh, but then why we have this history of the Netherlands did this, did that? It turns out that the always the Netherlands working together with local authorities,
Okay.
and the local authorities was the one who corrupt.
Ah, yes. Yes. The tale as old as time. The corrupt police, the corrupt
Yeah,
politicians.
and when the wind changed, they change also the
Ah,
colors.
okay. Yep. Yep. Sounds familiar. Sounds familiar coming from Argentina.
Yeah.
Um, so the rupiah started at that transition or Okay, so that's like that was the independent money at that point. So in your guys' education, you like to point to these, let's call them ridiculous facts about exactly how badly your purchasing power is getting destroyed in the local fiat currency, which it looks like it's really easy. You don't have to be a genius with numbers to see exactly how crazy your purchasing power is getting destroyed. Off camera, we were talking about a really good index that can be used in Indonesia to measure the inflation there. It has to do with the cost of rice. You want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I mean, like this, I just found out recently because I'm doing this offline, my first Bitcoin class in my town here, and there's one participant said like, you did you know that last year the price of 5 kilo of rice that can be consumed for a month for a family of four has doubled this year. So in within 1 year, has increased 100%. So
So,
I didn't realize that. And then after he told me that, I start to find out. I mean, like for example, I'm as a Bitcoiner, right? You like to eat proteins, right? So
yeah,
I always source my eggs locally. So I try to support local, so get to went local. And I noticed that the price of eggs already increased more than 40% within just this year.
oh my goodness. Wow. Measured in the rupiah.
Imagine in rupiah, yes. So, but
Oh
yeah,
my.
these things happen, and then that's why when we start to teach them about the inflation, about purchasing power, and then how Bitcoin is different than this money, it just like naturally realize that Bitcoin is halal because basically there's no gambling, there's no speculation, there's nothing. Yes, of course, everything can be speculated, right? I mean, like, but if you really see the core principles, the philosophy, how Bitcoin works, and everything, I think it's completely different system of money system, something compared to the other one, something like this. And
Yeah.
just because that we were born in rupiah, we don't realize it. I mean, it's like the matrix. Once you take the orange pill, then you woke up.
Yeah, yeah, you get unplugged.
You get unplugged, and you just like, why everyone like this? And then everyone say, why are you waking up? Let's just live again.
Yeah, totally. So you said that despite the fact that people in Indonesia might realize that things are getting more difficult, it's a part of the culture to kind of just be kind of passive and endure tough times. Um, how how do you create a sovereign, independent-minded Bitcoiner in that kind of culture? You know, like what's the Trojan horse game theory with this?
I think the Trojan horse is like the history of money, and then that's why we were so lucky. When my first Bitcoin curriculum came up, we start to teach it directly. I think Bandung, I was the first one who started the first cohort, and then straight away when we taught this. Then thank you very much for the my first Bitcoin. Shout out for them.
Yep,
I
shout
love
out to
them, and
John
then
and the guys. Yep.
yeah, and yeah, they just like realize and then just become like a Bitcoin maxi, something like this, right? And then
Yeah.
and we I think and we have taught more than 12 or 13 cohorts, and then we have more than 500 great alumni now. So we created from my first Bitcoin, and then just by teaching that without speaking any about halal haram, about is it permissible, I think people just realize it themselves, and then they become
Yep.
powerful. So what we are trying to do is not, and is something else. Like I have this theory: if Bitcoin in 2045, which is like 100 years from now, is our independence, Indonesian independence, and 100 years of Indonesian independence. In 1945, according to Jesse Myers, the Bitcoin 24 model, I think bear case price of Bitcoin is like
Yep.
about $3 million, something like this. I remember. So if
Jesse
you have like
Myers,
100,
better known as Croesus on X, for the people involved on X. Yep. The bear
so
case for
he has
Bitcoin in
this theory that
2045.
yes, so he has this theory about uh a bear case price of Bitcoin would be like $3 million per Bitcoin. So we have this mission now. So yeah, at least if we have like 100 million people, which is our mission to educate, empower 100 million people, just to own like 0.01, something like this, we can have a collective purchasing power. So we can change the country not by rioting or by forcing to change the government, which is never successful. We just have to create a community. We just have to create community with everyone holds Bitcoin on themselves, and then we kind of collaborating through our strength and weaknesses, and then this is what we are trying to do now in Indonesia. So the bigger mission is like 2045, 100 million people already empowered with Bitcoin and self custody, and then we can change it. Something like I see that already happening in America. I mean, during the Trump, I mean, the strategic Bitcoin reserve, but the direction now I think is quite uh, different than the original plan, right? I mean, but yeah, we so coming back to
Yeah.
your question about the government involvement and everything. After my visit to the vice president, I saw there's no hope involving the government. So because the government can just poison the well as yeah as whatever intention we have, it's just like gonna poison the well and then use it as they want, something like this, right? It's better to start from the grassroots, build communities, grow the communities, and then have more community leaders and then empower them with Bitcoin. I think this is the best way to save the country because we love the country.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, there's so much talk about Bitcoin strategic reserves, et cetera, which for me seems kind of like a dead end. Um, there's something to be said about the angle with Bitcoin mining, using stranded energy, the greening aspects of that. But yeah, the freedom go up aspect, not number go up, is how we change our communities. Um,
Yeah.
it's incredible to think you guys have 38 meetups going on, and every little node can, I mean, if one person, let's call it one person every week goes away and buys their first sats and starts saving just like 3, 4, 5% of their income, um, the water starts raising, and all boats are raised with the rising tide. Um, yeah, and that's the bearish case, right, for Bitcoin in 2045. I mean, we're talking. I'm very in tune with the death of the dollar and measuring Bitcoin in dollars. We're talking about a $1 million Bitcoin sooner than later. I'm on board with Samson Mao. The Omega candles are coming very soon because I know the tsunami of fiat that's going to be printed in the next 2 to 3 years. It's going to be incredible. Yeah, so it's really we're just plebs, at the end of the day. It's such an apt meme, to just keep pushing into that.
Yeah.
Perhaps shaking the hands, and I mean, we have the case of El Salvador, that's kind of an asterisk. Um, but governments, I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about incentives, and they have very little incentives coming from their political position to get rid of usury, get rid of seniorage, get rid of the Cantillon effect. So it's got to be the Trojan horse coming from loaded up with plebs to storm the gates. So let's see. I wanted to continue shilling what you guys are up to. So you guys you recently had the conference in September, 2 or 3 months ago. Tell me a little bit about how that went and the knock-on effects of that conference now that we're in
Wow.
December.
Okay. So this this conference was quite different than the other conferences that we had, like they organized by DEA at the time, because the normal conference basically it was like in the big hotel, and then a lot of panels, people just talk and then just chill out, and then that's it. No, there's no impact for the locals, right? So that's why, but also that's was the time when I met with Diana and Marius also. And this time when during the conferences, we decided we want to make it focus on the local side. So we make the ticket as cheap as possible for the local, and we
Great.
invited a lot of community leaders to come and become speaker. So we want to make it only like one day, like intimate, and then also introduce the people about our project, and then I mean like just small, and then we have just one day conference, but for Bitcoiners it's more important to experience. But so we have like 1 week of experience, but one day conference, so people can go surfing, people can go gym, or I don't know, join workshop, everything. So it was great. I mean, I think many people liked it, and then the knocked off effect of this, like I did my speech about I was telling story about the fourth turning in Indonesia. My theory about fourth turning, because Indonesia also going through the fourth turning because we just celebrated our 80th birthday. So I think the next 20 years will be like during the turbulence time.
Hmm.
And somebody saw that and then really liked it. And then he actually a teacher working in the British school Jakarta, one of the most elite school in Indonesia. And he invited me to give like show them these wealthy children schoolers about, because like the tuition fee like for like elementary school, I know, no, kindergarten, I think kindergarten is like $20,000 a year, something like this.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So we're talking the the wealthy, yeah,
Yeah, so
the
he wanted me to teach like the age of 11 until 16, something like this. And
okay.
I asked, so how much is it, like 40,000 a year, like this the tuition fee for this level, something that's increasing. But because of that, they live in the fiat world, they feel money is easy because they can ask their papa, and then they just like,
Yeah.
okay, I want them to teach about money. So we just completed that last week, I think. Maybe you saw our ex that I went
Yeah.
there with a broken foot, and we spent 4 days, 4 days with them, and it's incredible because like I said, Bitcoiners always felt lonely, and then when we started the project, he gained more Bitcoiners in the area, so in school.
Wow. Wow. And I mean, it needs to be acknowledged that most likely the parents of that school are people in positions of influence, positions of power. They are movers and shakers. So there is something to be said as well with the trickle down effect as well. Yes, grassroots,
Exactly.
but if you're orange pilling the students at where influential people are sending their kids, the knock-on effects are massive. So that was one of the fruits from the conference. How was the curriculum, the 4 day um, workshop, let's call it, received by the students?
It was well received, I think, because this is another fruit of the conference, because we have this pitch contest organized by Angkor. I think it's like the decentralized crowdfunding platform, and one of the winners has this project called Sovereign Generation, basically to teach high schoolers about financial literacy, where Bitcoin is one of
Amazing.
them, but not the only one. So that was the experience. I mean, we used that curriculum that we newly created and tested in British School Jakarta, and the high schooler liked it. And also, we also had a session with the parents, mostly wives, like the rich wives. So and then I brought up a member who is like who very successful in the coal business. Yeah, he I mean, like yearly, his company earned more than $25 million, something like this. So he said.
Wow.
So yeah, and then he just shared that how wealth can create blind spot for children, right? Because parents are just to give money, 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 and then we talked about that, and then yeah, from there it's growing, and also we also have this learning. The Indonesian staff, for example, hired by the school, they often felt my money is not enough.
Hmm.
They fell into scams, to Ponzi scheme, to yeah, many things, like also huge debt and everything. So we talk about that. We also brought like financial advisor to talk about their money problems, and then basically it's not only about Bitcoin, but more like holistic about like how do you manage your finance, because yeah, Bitcoin is great, but if you cannot manage your finance, then you have to sell your Bitcoin. You should,
Right, right.
yeah, yeah. This is what
It,
the learning. I loved it, and then people really liked it. And then this contact I have in the school, I think January he will start teaching my first Bitcoin, and then I think he told me that more than 20 people already registered. So I think we're going
oh
to a
my
good
goodness.
direction. Yeah.
So great. So great. Yeah, I think the most accessible angle is at first it's savings technology, right? You can't just expect someone to just, there's very few people that are just going to start living on a Bitcoin standard at first. So,
Yeah.
5% of your income into sats, and you need to have that pad because otherwise you're going to have to sell them. But now, with layer two, whatnot, we're also looking at Bitcoin as a medium of exchange. So, um, anyways, amazing, amazing. So, what is 2026 looking like for Bitcoin Indonesia? What do you guys have on tap? It sounds like
Ooh.
the the foundation has been laid for an unconference there, which is, for those who don't know, unconferences are they're kind of like gatherings of Bitcoin educators where everybody shows up and they have something locked and loaded that they would love to talk about. And it's a good chance to listen to high signal, boots on the ground messages, people who are living, eating, drinking, sleeping Bitcoin 24 hours a day. And it's also a great chance to network, get to know your fellow Bitcoiners, and galvanize your local Bitcoin education community. So it sounds like you guys kind of already did your own version of an unconference adjacent to the bigger conference. Anyways, so yeah, what does 2026 look like besides being more bullish than ever?
Yeah, I mean, lot of things. I think next week, I think we are talking now in December, right? Beginning of December. So I think middle of December we will uh, gather all of our community leaders to my hometown, to Bandung, and we will talk about the project, how we can empower them, because everyone is unique. Every community is unique. For example, there's one community leaders in Surabaya specialized in creating like open source board game about
Oh, very
Bitcoin.
cool.
Yeah,
Very cool. Does
and
Arnold know
another
about
one,
that?
huh? What?
Does Arnold from My First Bitcoin know about that? He created his
Not yet.
own.
This is not really like this is first time I publicly say to you.
Ah, okay. Spoiler.
Yeah, we created this three board games from different ages, like coloring book, and then like a kind of Monopoly, and then the most difficult ones we call it time chainers. You can find out in our GitHub, and then you can just download and then make it like we
Oh
open
my
source it
gosh.
everything.
When do you guys sleep? This is insane. You're creating board games as well. Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
And yeah, so the plan is like we want to gather them together like 3 days, because we of course we have this meetup also happening in Bandung also, and then the plan, we want to utilize the FEDI and also the My First Bitcoin as for the next year. So I think the big plan is like in the beginning we only use Fedi in Bali as a way of transacting using Bitcoin. It's not, we don't pay in Bitcoin, but we redeem Bitcoin. So, but it
Hmm.
was mainly in Bali. But now we want to ask the leaders, go to your cities, to your communities, and start using Fedi, onboard the merchants, something like to grow the adoption, Fedi adoption. And also we want to everyone to start teaching my first Bitcoin, like to reach everyone. I think, but the biggest project in Bali will be like we have this small Bitcoin house, basically a compartment. We want to upgrade it to become a Bitcoin hub one day. So so all the Bitcoin companies, hopefully, maybe my first Bitcoin can have an office there, or you can have an office there, and just like working together, like different communities, different projects, but all Bitcoin focus. We can start building and we can start working, and then just like drive the adoption of Bitcoin in Bali and also all over Indonesia.
Give me some time. I need to convince the wife, but I could totally get on board with surfing and doing Bitcoin stuff all day,
You're
every
most
day.
welcome. Yes, yes, yes. And also one thing that I'm really keen is like I think, at least for me, yeah, my interest is education. So during the conference, we invited METH Dushan
Uh-huh.
to do the Bitcoin Educators Academy (BEA), and then it was like amazing because it's a mix of public speaking and also Bitcoin education. uh, I really want to push that from my side, yeah, from I don't and slowly from my side all over Indonesia, because we don't need influencers, but we need educators. So right, and then
Absolutely.
a lot of people, yeah, I mean like how to talk, how to handle objection, how to use analogies to explain is very powerful. I mean to educate people. So not flexing your wealth, but flexing your knowledge is most I think more sexy than in my opinion.
Right, right. Because it's life is a lot more fun when everybody else is on a solid money standard rather than being rich in a constantly deteriorating fiat world. Why not use your life's energy to help raise all the boats? It's so much more rewarding,
Yeah,
taking that angle.
yeah, but many things are happening now. But yeah, we'll see. We are also preparing, maybe next year the downturn of Bitcoin price a little bit, but we are
Hmm.
more bullish than ever. So we have a lot of projects. We get new contacts, and then yeah, I mean I think there's no, like Bitcoin, every 10 minutes new block created. So just keep pushing.
TikTok, next block. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Wow. Holy cow. And to think that you've come all this way in 2 years since the launch.
Yeah,
Incredible.
this is the scary part. We did all of this in 2 years, and I have this worry in my mind, like this has all been going too well. There should be something,
Yeah.
like there's something going to be wrong next year.
Yeah, right. Just bracing for something catastrophic. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. No, but you know, uh we haven't even mentioned this, but you were on stage with Jeff Booth. And he talks about, as soon as you choose to start working for the new system, all of a sudden you're surrounded by people who are moving in the same direction. And this, um, in the fiat world, you're trading against the other person, you're competing against other people, whereas you're moving into a new system where people are all kind of rowing in the same direction. So you're constantly making contacts with people that are just pushing towards the same change, and that friction gets removed in many ways. I've experienced the same. Just every time I've come into contact with a local Bitcoiner, how can I help? I want to use my free time to help push this change as well. Maybe that catastrophe that you're bracing for will never happen, and think the momentum just continues.
But
it's
I
kind of
hope so.
a
This is the positive side, but also but at the same side, because I live quite a while, more than a decade in Germany, we have this like fail to plan is planning to fail, right? So we have this worry, and this worry is the one that drive me to give, okay, give your best. And when I woke up every day, I ask myself, what value can you create it today for this project? Something I always ask this question to myself, and then I think the rest of the team also do this. We do it decentralized way, but we're moving forward to the same direction. So
yeah, 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 yeah. That's the only way is to scale, to empower your neighbors, and that's how the virus spreads as fast as possible. Um, well, we're coming up on an hour and 15 minutes here, so do you have any last words? Any parting words that you'd like to mention? And if you don't mind, I would like to take this opportunity to ask you that we can check in about 6 months and
sure.
see how things are progressing, because this is absolutely fascinating and inspiring, what you guys are up to in Indonesia.
Yeah, so there is one story I want to share with you. This is from why I'm so passionate about building communities and building meet with the members and volunteers. So I recently met with one member who is very active in our Telegram group, and then he actually a doctor. So he when he started to understood Bitcoin, uh, he converted everything like his salaries 100% to Bitcoin, and he
Wow.
measured everything in sats. So he's the one of the early adopters, something like this. So then he has this meticulous this is notes like in Excel sheets for month after month after month after month for 5 years, how the price changed in fiat and also in Bitcoin. And because of that, he last time he when he met with me, we have this yearly meeting together. He said that, yeah, now I used to work in the 3 hospitals, but slowly I can go to 2 hospitals. And now I work only in one hospital because if I don't work, then I feel bored. Because actually, if I stop working and then my children is going to the international school with the same fee that I told you previously, I have like time like 50 years,
Yep,
which now is a problem for me because like I feel bored. Like I have this all this time, and it make me realize that Bitcoin is not only empowering you, but it's also give you time, like give you back your time that you have, like. And this is the people
absolutely.
doesn't really like realize it yet, because we've been fed with the crypto communities, crypto trading, and get rich quicks and all this flexing and everything. But the most important thing is the time. You can do whatever you work, do your passion, and I'm blessed also because I'm doing this project. I have the time, so I have the time to take care of my family, to see my family, because I grew up without having my father when me was not that close, so he always working, 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 working. But now I want to give my time to my children. So this is one of the reasons why I always strive to empower these communities, this member, everyone, tell the stories, and then it's crazy. He even say that at the time where the one Bitcoin price was like 85,000, like he have like 50 years. So if the with one Bitcoin goes to 1 million, then he have like 300 years.
Oh my gosh, insane. Yeah, yeah. And just to imagine this change on a societal level, when everybody is saving on a sound money standard, families strengthen, communities strengthen, people have more time to uh, put their life's energy into those things that really matter. Um, Fiat robs us of our time, our life source, and that which is really important. And hopefully we've touched bottom, and now the rebuilding begins. Amazing story. He was rotating between 3 hospitals in order to pay these $40,000 a year school fees, and now he's effectively financially free. Very cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll end on that note. Bitcoin gives you your time back. Bitcoin is a big battery for your time.
Exactly.
So yeah, thanks for your time. Speaking of Dimas,
It is a
we'll
pleasure. It's a pleasure.
yeah, as well, likewise. We'll make sure to put appropriate links of the project and how people can donate to Bitcoin Indonesia. You guys have a geyser fund, I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
And send your tips and your zaps to Bitcoin Indonesia. That will
Thank
all
you.
be in the show notes. Absolute pleasure. Thanks for your time, Dimas, and we will see you in about 6 months.
Thank you, Trev.
All right, take care.
Bye bye.